A hero here today, and who will it be? Two of the top three teams in La Liga going toe-to-toe at the Camp Nou. And as you can see, a bit of memory for the fallen Argentine writer Jorge Lopez. We'll have more on that in a moment. Will there be justice for Messi, justice for Luis Enrique? Sometimes it seems like it's just me rather than just us. Barcelona coming in 12-2-3, same record as Atletico. Goal differential, the only reason Barcelona in second, but remember the official tiebreaker is head-to-head. These two teams will meet at the Vicente Calderón in the penultimate game of the season. This, the turning point, 18 games. Will it be Barca or Atletico? Bill Shane, Ray Hudson with you. Questions surrounding both of those stars, legends to be, and they can add to their legendary status here today.
No questioning their talent, that's for sure. And on the other side of that banister is a team stocked full of different talent, spelled T-E-A-M in the wonderful Diego Simeone way. What answer now from the man himself? Is he going to back up his coach? Well, I don't think he's got a bad bone in him in terms of turning away from Barcelona. He'll want to win for his teammates, for the club, for the socios, and we'll see if he's inspired as usual. This is as strong as a turnout for Barcelona as they could put out under their under-fire coach, Luis Enrique, who's facing the slings and arrows in a big, big way. And who have they got come calling? Just the champions of Spain. Big, big, huge game, pressure-filled. This is what Barca's going with. It looks good.
Rakitic stepping in for the ailing Xavi. Dani Alves back out there. Piqué as well, on the verge of his 27th birthday in front of the Chilean, who has fit right in. In fact, Diego Simeone going out of his way to say even the goalkeeper can play at Barcelona. Well, Miguel Angel Moya playing pretty well for Atletico following the departure of Thibaut Courtois, and following the injury to Miranda, the young Jimenez has stepped to the fore, both back line and front, alongside Godin. Mandzukic joining Griezmann up front.
And that Griezmann has been the man who's been shining amongst all these wonderful footballers, stepping in for David Villa, of course, replacing him with a different element. It was David Silva and Costa. Now we've got this wonderful, sprightly, mercurial Frenchman in Griezmann, who's a lot more complementary to the big man up front than perhaps David Villa was. It's always a second type of forward in my books, but Griezmann, he can fade off of his front line, he can join in the midfield, be difficult to contain. And for Barcelona, Piqué looking alongside of Mascherano and going with a bit of height at the back. A lot of people thinking that they would go with the other big defender, but it's not been that way. And Marc Bartra sitting on the bench, another player that's been wonderful. Bartomeu there and the left side as we're looking at him, and the spectacles under severe pressure. There's questions galore rotating around this stadium, Phil. Big rumours saying that Luis Enrique is going to be out, even if they put on a winning performance. If it doesn't convince the people in charge, they may make a move. That's all to be talked about tomorrow. We'll see.
Well, Ronald Koeman has been asked about it. Frank Rijkaard has seen his name back into the picture because he's the one who really helped launch Lionel Messi. Getting the award here, Javier Tebas, the president of the league. Charlie Reixach, the man who got his signature on a napkin, well, as well as a pretty good player in his own right.
Adored beyond all adoration, the greatest player Barcelona have ever produced. Lionel Messi receives another wonderful trophy for his Aladdin's Cave. But again, this is a pressure-filled game against an absolutely superlative team. He showed it against the world champions, Real Madrid. Arda Turan's men don't back down from anybody. Defensive team, but they'll take the chances going forward. They're wonderfully inventive and brilliant on set pieces.
Now a moment of silence. Barcelona reason to mourn themselves. Former goalkeeper Fernando Argila passing away this week, but this, as it has been throughout La Liga, for the victims of the terror attacks in Paris. Probably not the reaction that had been intended. Barcelona, Atletico and company now focusing in on the match ahead. Real Madrid in the somewhat comfortable role of leader, knowing that at least one of these teams will shed points today, with a win already in Real's pocket. Iniesta with questions to answer. Luis Suarez. No one has created more chances than he has in his La Liga career, but really yet to get off track. In white, Atletico quickly pushing forward, and a diving header by Mascherano denies. Lifted back to the near side, and it's Dani Alves on defense.
Typical wonderful approach from Atletico right out of the traps. Is still coming.
Ball deflected inside. Piqué slams it to the ground off his nose.
It's a typical example of what they expect. Intricate, modest play, but sharp, incisive, and then they'll go for the direct ball into big man Zukic, and the knockdowns they'll see. Well, a flock of seagulls coming out in these grey shirts in support.
Ball flicked on by Griezmann, who has proven to be much better in the air than we saw at Sociedad. Ball stripped away, poked up the middle, but behind the run.
Beautiful play by Neymar, just trying to stab that one over the top, offsides.
Flag comes up against Griezmann. Speaking of his flock of seagulls haircut, just a baby seagull at the moment, but
this Atletico Madrid team come in here, didn't lose to Barcelona all last season. They've got plenty of threats themselves. Barcelona want to keep possession and try to push this game into Atletico's back line and keep it there in typical Barcelona fashion. Busquets getting the start. He was rested in midweek. He'll be fresh. He's a big part in this game for me, Phil. And of course, Dani Alves linking up with the magic of Messi. That's a good touch.
Good example of why Busquets so valuable when he is on. Of course, the attention focuses in on scoring goals. One of the reasons why the spotlight has been on Suarez, and in all honesty, in this showdown, why it's been on Messi. You talked about the 6 matches that have been played since a Barcelona victory against Atletico. The last 3, he has yet to find the net. And he scored more goals against Atletico than any other team in La Liga, bar Sevilla. Back to Mache. Already having to step up to deny Atletico. Through ball looking for Suarez. Nice from the young teenager, Jimenez.
Unlucky. You've got to be super sharp tonight with their passing to break down this defense of Simeone. It always gets loaded all around the world, this back line, and the goalkeeper did the head last year, of course, Courtois. Moya's not doing anything wrong, but for me, it's the midfield. The midfield are so wonderful at defending. They're wonderful in attacking as well, but the structure of them is in a very strange, different sort of manner. All fully loaded with talent going in the attacking mode, but defensively, they're all knitted together like chainmail.
Piqué looking to dominate the younger Jimenez. Moya dancing off his line, then Bacca's trip inside the box, but the foul goes against Barca.
A brilliant corner in anyhow. Either way, Piqué goes for the pick and releases Suarez right behind him. There's a wonderful angle here, getting pulled back. Now, accidentally runs into Godin. Didn't see much there.
I think if he would have stood still, he might have been able to slow Godin down regardless, but that movement draws the whistle. Fourth minute.
Draw criticism from his coach as well if he's standing still in a corner.
Chance for Suarez, tries to sneak it in, slips, and it almost works brilliantly. Neymar deflecting it towards goal.
Godin comes in and just tries to boot this one down to the other side of the pitch. As Neymar, Suarez pulls this one back, gets to the target, and that's a brave effort from Neymar to try to get something out of nothing. Good attitude being shown, as you would expect from Barcelona in semi-crisis mode. It'll be in full-blown crisis mode if they don't get out of here with the 3 points.
This round 18. Expect to see a lot of goals today. Over the last 15 league encounters between the two, there have been more than 4 goals per game.
Good.
Here's Juanfran, used to playing against Barcelona, Osasuna, Espanyol, Real, and now Atletico. Trickles across. It will go Barca's way.
Got some players in fine form, but he's got some question marks as well on a few of the Barcelona players that have been strangely subdued, let's just say.
Right, the biggest question comes when you look at the table. This is the fewest points Barcelona's had after 17 matches since the 08-09 season. Just 38. And in fact, just last week they had a chance to take the lead over Real Madrid, but stumbled against La Real.
Poor ball again from Iniesta. Wins it back.
That's a nice step. Busquets out wide. Here is Messi in his free roll. Out wide, Alves sneaks it in with his right, but cleared away Jimenez. Rakitic getting pulled out of mothballs today.
Another player that started out absolutely brilliantly and looked like an inspired signing in the early part. This wonderful blonde number 4, but fallen off a little bit of late as well, as has Jeremy Mathieu, just settling in their first season. But a statement to be made here today, no uncertain terms by this team in the Blaugrana. I'm going to send out the message to the world just after 1 or 2 shaky performances, and they've been decidedly that, being un-Barcelona-like, that everything is right. Well, it's got to be done on the pitch here. The body language of them here today is being greeted with applause, and the cheers here. It's a good start by Barca.
Off to the near side as the Barcelona fans try and lift the intensity a bit. Tackled away from Alves. Possession heavily in favor of Barca here in the early going, but even more dominant in the cup match for Real against Atletico, who still won rather easily. The Simeone method.
Yep.
They can look beautiful, but they try and make sure the shop is shut at the other end. Poked away. Suarez didn't hear the footsteps of Thiago. Seemed to come away the worse for wear did the Portuguese mid. Turan back to Juanfran. Into the middle, strong step up Mascherano, but he forgot the ball.
He had Griezmann open there just for a split second as well. Thiago couldn't pull that trigger. It would have took a hell of a ball, but it was open for Griezmann.
A few whistles from the crowd. They want to see more.
Good ball.
Rakitic looking to provide it.
Got options here.
In the middle is Messi. Goes wide for Neymar.
Suarez was going to pick out Messi there. He had him beautifully running square to him.
Pokes it back towards Rakitic before he's taken down. The ex-Sevilla man over to Iniesta as Suarez still getting to his feet.
It's that last example there where Suarez has Messi open for a twinkling of an eye in terms of time, and it's gone. And that's the way Diego Simeone's men draw themselves up. It's there for 1 nanosecond and it's gone. Ask Real Madrid. And a host of other as well. Magnificent job, both men in black. Yes, There's that earlier one, just wide of him. He tries to get it to Leo eventually, but the early opportunity was the one he needed to find him quicker. Bit of a statement game in itself for Suarez, Phil. What a game to really get himself in the big, good graces of Barca fans. Great run.
Neymar to Messi.
Magic!
Brings it to his right and tries to sneak it in, but sends it wide.
It's a brilliant run from Neymar. Gets the big thumbs up from the maestro. But could he have found Neymar back? It's a great run. He releases the magic man. One touch and he glides past. And there, Neymar running square would have taken a hell of a ball to find him. Messi goes for the near post, the far post. Might have been available, but wow. Electrical football, and he don't like it. He wants that one short-circuited. He says there's more coming.
Another chance for Messi. Ooh, almost finds the gap. Well played, Godin. Here's Thiago. Good ball forward for Koke, but Mandzukic would have been offside. Koke just celebrating a birthday. He's been around forever, but he's only 23. The man that, in many ways, Simeone building the midfield around, but I guess like Henry Ford, he's got a few pieces that can replace him, including Kani, who is would have been available, but suffering from a sore ankle.
Saved the first few minutes of this game. It's Barcelona, as I said, really playing the game inside of Atletico's half. Exactly the game plan that Lucio Enrique wants to exploit and take advantage of. It'll be dangerous. They've got Mascherano covering Griezmann, and of course Piqué will be responsible for picking up Mandzukic.
Trying to flip it back, Neymar, but couldn't find Rakitic or the ball. Mascherano back to Bravo, well out of his area.
The mental power, the mental strength of this Atletico de Madrid team, Phil, is something that doesn't get enough recognition. The manner in which they play is all predicated around defence first. It just is. To keep that faith and belief that we're going to get our half chances and we're going to take them. That takes a lot of doing and a lot of wonderful understanding amongst the team, and we saw what it produced last year.
Nice from Messi. Alves feeds him back, pops up, dances around Godin, plays it square. Suarez can't get it, but Neymar does. It falls Barcelona's way as the crown slips a bit on Atletico.
Magic from Messi again. Suarez should have finished it, but Neymar says, I'll take over the steering wheel here. It's magic from Messi. Lucio Enrique says, I'll quit if my players stop following me. Well, Messi could follow him into a revolving door and still come out first. Take a look at this. Rakitic gets him. He's got 4 players in front of him, so he plays a 1-2 from Dani Alves. He guides past Godin, pulls it back to Suarez, who stumbles and bumbles, but Neymar says, sweep it home. Magic Messi. Brilliant here from Neymar. It's a bad error defensively, not from Godin, but right here, the misclearance from Juanfran opens the door for Neymar, who goes double Brazil disco, wipes his feet on the welcome mat thrown down from Juanfran and steps through the door.
Be interesting to find out if Suarez thinks that thigh pass was intentional. Regardless, the goal will count, and it was Messi's magic because he went around Godin. Here comes Neymar, blasted in. Moya settles, almost puts it on the feet of Suarez again.
Moya does brilliantly here to stop this sizzler coming at him. It's got sparks coming off the ball as it's fired towards him. But again, unlucky Suarez.
Griezmann almost had it. Back comes Rakitic.
Again, fabulous form from the Brazilian Neymar. Absolutely spellbinding.
Clash of the Titans, said the Atletico website. And right now, it is Barcelona proving they are far from dead.
No, that's a little bit too audacious. He's given himself a half a smile. It's a wonderful give and go. Just a great hit by Jordi Alba. Moya doing everything he can And it's on the follow-up. Suarez just not able to poke it home. Going through a rough time, Phil, isn't he? Just, I don't know.
Like I mentioned, one chance created every 30 minutes, which is tops in La Liga, but he's just not converting them himself.
Oh, a great ball out from the keeper right into Rakitic.
There, the Alba chance.
That's a good attempt. He's trying to follow it up. It looks easier to score. Is it falling down to him, doesn't it?
That's at Anfield last year. It's probably in the back of the net, though. Nice from Griezmann. Headed clear. Alba rifled down towards that near post, but Koke sends it wide.
Pressure release valve because of his number 10 and the number 11. Argentina to Uruguay to Brazil.
Could see all of them, and Chile in the upcoming Copa America. Speaking of Chile, Alexis continuing to shine, and that's been something that Barcelona's missed, but not so far today.
Got to give credit to Suarez for that movement inside of the box, no matter that he didn't finish it.
Messi, magic, and Griezmann tries to shove the rabbit back in the hat.
Good look. Uncontainable. Like nailing jello to the ceiling. Can it do it?
You've tried? See just how close Atletico came from dodging that bullet off the toe of Neymar. 12th minute, 12th goal. Leading scorer. Maybe he's going blonde again. Just outside the area. Rakitic has the leg to score from here. Lifting it towards the 18. A collision, play on. Both got to the ball in time. Iniesta sees it parried. Neymar is hurt. Tried to strike that ball just as the defender was tackling, and his ankle might have given way.
It's more of his leg.
Jimenez.
It's a fair challenge. It's a good challenge from Jimenez. Jesus comes in clean. Gets the ball right there, and then the follow-through catches Neymar as he's striking through. Certainly no intention there from the Atletico man. He ain't going to pull out in that situation when you've got the Brazilian coming on. Gangbusters, ready to pull his well-oiled trigger.
219th meeting between these two longtime rivals. Barcelona's won 93, but Atletico 75 with 50 draws. Neymar still down. Recent history has gone Atletico's favor. In La Liga, 4 straight draws.
Can't wait to see that goal again. It looks malicious from that angle, but it could be construed that his cleats were a little high and out. Certainly draws blood.
Wow. Kind of makes you wonder if you're a referee, if maybe you did miss something. Whether it was intentional or not, maybe reckless enough.
After the event, a player defender's got to go and win the ball in that situation, and he did so effectively, if not absolutely clinically clean. The follow through had nothing to do with Gomez. Gonna have to get that taken care of for sure.
Well, just in case, Pedro loosening up on the sideline. We also have Munir and Rafinha. You know he'll try and stay out there. They'll have to change the sock and stop the bleeding, but here a better view.
Non-playing observers will say that that's a dangerous tackle, but what's he going to do? He's got to get there ahead of Neymar, who's already pulling to fire this one home, and it's the follow-through after the ball's won that gets Neymar, who had been the best player, arguably, for Barcelona in the opening 15-16 minutes. And
saw a similar challenge by Cohen Trau, rewarded with a red card recently.
It's nothing like that one, Phil. It's nothing like it. The Cohen Trau tackle was purely, it didn't even argue with the book about it. I don't think he'll have any real complaints about the way that Jimenez won that ball.
Now that signal, you wonder whether it's substitution or maybe just making sure the trainer brings more tape.
Yeah.
Neymar, for as frail as he is and as often as he gets knocked down, not one to want to get taken off. In fact, there were lots of stories how unhappy he was at getting pulled by Luis Enrique recently. On the scoreboard already. This is not the way that Diego Simeone wanted this game to start. Landing awkwardly, Alves right in front of El Cholo.
Doesn't land, he gets the ball in an unfortunate area there.
Three's a crowd. Busquets. Strong challenge, Gabi. Fernando Torres available on the bench. No active player in the league has scored more.
This could be a yellow card against Thiago, but the referees, yeah, there's Luis Enrique really demonstrating with the referee because of that challenge by Thiago. Take a look, kicks right through the back.
Luis Enrique agrees, standing up for his star player. Although if you believe some of the reports, it has not been a reciprocal arrangement. Another collision as Messi goes down, well, this time with Gomez, and the card does come out.
Eventually, Gomez, the next one to rotate his machetes, and the cavalry says, don't you worry, kid, I'm coming to get you. Wonderful from Messi, drives back, and Gomez reaches in and cannot run without his legs.
Gomez, normally a right back. They do have Guilherme Sequeira on the bench, who had been playing at left back, but Gomez getting the call today. Did well against Real, but being tested here. Neymar back out. The bleeding is stopped, even if the sock doesn't quite show it. What this goal is going to do is have to force Atletico out eventually. Tres dedos from Alves as he scoops it forward.
Ball dropped into a beautiful area, but it's a crowded telephone box. Take a look at 5 players convening in on a ball, and not one of them can really get it away or get it on target. A beautiful little chipped in pass there. Another big sellout crowd at this wonderful cathedral of football.
Getting a chance to see Neymar's 12th goal, Messi's 12th assist this season, to go along with 24 goals in all competitions. Alves and Griezmann.
On a starvation diet, Griezmann, and he wins that one fair and square.
Mentioned Torres scored 13 goals his debut season with Atletico. Griezmann with 8 already, and this the midway point. Gomez. Piqué around Griezmann. Jimenez missed his mark.
Oh,
is he on?
Genius from
down.
Messi.
Suarez around Jimenez. Chips. Neymar! Wide! Off the hook, Atletico.
Well, the finish is as sharp as a bag of wet mace. But the start of this from the halfway line from Messi was brilliant. Suarez does everything right. Jukes past the first defender, puts it on a golden altar. And he cannot believe, and we cannot believe that he misses this. Springs up, there's no pressure on him. He could have went back post, near post, or just hit the top of the bar. A lot of players use that reference point sometimes when a ball like that is dropping into you, but there's no excuses. Wonderful from Barcelona on that counter-attack. And again, Suarez, simply magnificent in his creativity.
Another chance for Alves, surrounded by four. Rakitic to Messi, who makes the defense disappear.
Having a great game, Messi as well. We glided past the first two defenders to set up Suarez. Was breathtaking.
Taken away.
Aye.
Trying to go Doraka himself, but slamming into Alves. That's what I was thinking initially on this break, as Suarez appeared to be off, although the assistant was focused in on something else. Wouldn't have counted anyway, or it shouldn't have, but a moot point as Neymar sends it wide.
Well, by Simeone's team standards, this is somewhat, I wouldn't say a lethargic performance, but you can see that glinting edge isn't quite there. You wonder how much of that game against the Royal Whites of Madrid really took out of this team. But credit to Barcelona, as they are playing rapier, sharp football of their previous editions. A lot of this first 25 minutes, and Messi looks extremely motivated.
Ray, you know, from a playing and coaching perspective, sometimes you need a little, not so much controversy, but difficulty to bring a team together. Obviously, Messi has showed up today. As to whether that's enough to get Luis Enrique back in the good graces. Mentioned those 6 in a row that have been drawn against Barca. Snapped 6 straight losses against them. In fact, the last time Atletico won at the Camp Nou was 2006, the year after Simeone left. Fernando Torres scoring 2 on that day. He's going to score again. It's going to be off the bench.
Turan's men still waiting, lurking in the long grass. Their set pieces have always been, this one seems to be a bit too far away for a direct hit towards Bravo's goal, but he can do it in a variety of ways. And when you've got Mandzukic and Godin, there's always a danger.
Mendes. Turan now on this left side. Koke putting the pressure on as well. Really overloading the Dani Alves side. Beautiful flick, Koke. The Turk leaves the defense in the wake. In flies Mascherano, though.
Tremendous tackle from the Argentina man. A good sharp play that time from Simeone's men, trying to set up the cross for big Mandzukic. Did it a different way. It could have been flighted in straight from the set play, but they wooed Barcelona out, drew them out, and then looked for the free pass into the area for Mandzukic. But thanks to Mascherano, that door was shut.
Alba. Ray, just the 28th minute. Barcelona already with 8 shots. Cut inside Mandzukic. Griezmann wants it back.
Again, Mascherano had to make that save.
It's 3v3 if they hurry. Threaded it through, but too high for Suarez. And Messi saying, what about me?
Jimenez escorting Luis Suarez right alongside. Would have took a beyond genius ball to find him, but Neymar tries it and he's disappointed with himself for not finding that little passing lane over the top for Luis to streak onto, perhaps.
Bit of brilliance, bit of good fortune. Barcelona striking in the 12th minute. Atletico looking to equalize. Juanfran, now 30 years of age, but still spry. Iniesta flips it out of the danger zone.
Dealt with that beautifully there, Iniesta. That was tricky. That was
Nice
very difficult. And because of Iniesta's little magic touch, it leads to this.
Neymar again appeared to be off. Flag stays down to Messi. Drags to his right, sneaks it across. Moya with the stop. In for Neymar. Leads with his elbow and knocks Godin to the ground.
Superlative football again on the break. Rabbit hole attack from Barcelona. And Messi's magic, absolutely stardust football again. Take a look at this. Wonderful. Sends his shadow the wrong way and tries to stab it, but nowhere past Moya. That right hand is there already, and the ball strikes it.
'30th minute, Moya under pressure from the opening minute, and here again, just saved by a Gomez touch.
Good appetite there, Luis Suarez. Half of a chance, a quarter of a chance, and he ain't backing down.
Godin, maybe inspired by Suarez.
Busquets to cover up that ground.
Griezmann, so mobile.
Sharp, nice ball.
He and Turan getting in each other's way, though. Headed away, Mandzukic gives it back. The Croat in the box, double teamed, and Alba pulls it out of the fire.
Oh, what a header.
Beautiful. Here's Iniesta, ghosting forward. It stops, sweeps it across. Moya was ready.
Luis Suarez, vacant and open, arms up above his head, waving the ball in from Rakitic that doesn't come.
Still alive for Messi.
He's been ravenous for the ball tonight.
Into the box, Alves. Back for Messi, but just got caught in the spokes.
This is more like what they have been demanding all season long. This is Barcelona's best performance of the year, for my money. They've been complete in defence, and they've been absolutely radiant up front. And he, of course, is constant as the Northern Star. Twice as radioactive when he's in form like this. One nothing though, still a narrow margin here. But the defences look very assured, Phil, and the midfield's appetite to win the ball back in numbers, the hunting down of the ball. It's been led by Busquets a lot of times, but it's everywhere here today. Rakitic and Iniesta always willing to do the donkey work. We've seen Messi tracking back, hungry as the wolf. 30 minutes in, not much to question about Barcelona here today.
Atletico also ravenous. Barcelona using the ball as bait, though.
I'm not so sure that they have been in that appetite like Barcelona have, Phil. Look at this.
Sneaks it in for Suarez. Wide for Rakitic. Across the 6, but missed the mark.
Suarez, wonderful. You just imagine Chameleon Eyes, who's injured, not on the bench here today, would have done with that type of ball. Rakitic working his socks off and nicely involved with that little bit of dexterity of touch needed there. Nowhere close.
Busquets gets knocked down. Mandzukic not happy. And now Undiano Mayenko coming out with the card in hand. Mandzukic in the book, even though he thinks that Sergio Busquets went down a bit easily.
PK better get Busquets away, because he'll get a card for this constant protestation. The card's been brandished towards the Atletico man, and there's no need for any more verbals. The message being given, just back off, take his number, remember, and get your own back. But against the Croatian international, this is going to be one to watch.
And you're
the
right
blue
about
touch
Busquets.
tape has absolutely been lit. Piqué doing his best. They're still not backing down, like a couple of rams bucking against each other. Nothing there, and Mandzukic comes across right up into the throat of Busquets, and then he antagonizes him. There's only one at blame or at fault here, and that's the Croatian. No question about it.
Moved his arm out to keep Busquets behind, but caught him in the throat. I don't think we've seen the end of that.
Still having words with each other. And Mandzukic drops into Busquets' zone. Busquets has been all over him. And Mascherano and Piqué sharing the load, passing him on to one another when he takes that point of the spear up front.
Again, Fernando Torres on the bench. Mandzukic with a yellow card, pretty much handing his pass in. The question is when.
Good header from Rakitic again. Magic Messi.
Dances through Gomez. Help inside and out.
Oh!
Sneaks it for Suarez, who caresses it home.
And all the credit goes to Messi again. Brilliant. When they're like this, it's like silvery wine in a spaceship. There's no containing him. It's a brilliant run from Messi, who has never looked as sharp as this in I don't know how long. Suarez gets the glory. Messi sets it. And showing Messi this much space, like here, after this touch, handball, play on. From that angle, it looked as if maybe the arm played it. We'll have to have a look at it from the other side. It could have been his chest, but a brilliant outside of the boot touch threads the needle. This is the one. Whoa, handball. Mano. From that angle, what do you think, Phil? Think it looks like a handball to me?
Don't even think Mono needed Google Glass to see it, but the referee and the assistant didn't. Maybe the third time by my count. Barcelona's got a bit of a break, but you still have to do something with it, and Suarez does.
So often you'll see that sort of control from players, and they'll use that. Well, the goalie's just got to try to control it with his chest. The question is, did his arm come up at the upper part of his arm and play the ball? I thought it did. I thought this one should have been called back for handball, but he still threads a golden needle right here between the two players to set up Suarez, and he knows immediately where his bread is buttered. And again, Lucho says, put away the antacids, I don't need him now.
5th goal in all competitions, just the 2nd in league though, and this a bit different than facing a Cordoba squad that's trying to avoid relegation. This against the defending champions.
Oh.
Mandzukic sandwiched between Piqué and Busquets. Koke.
Great opportunity this. Good ball!
Into the center, cleared by Piqué. Turan tracking it down. Back for Koke, again into the middle. Over Griezmann though.
Well, the ball from Koke for that free kick. Absolutely millimeter perfect. Well defended by Barcelona. That was a threatening ball into the most dangerous area. Found its way through, but Barcelona dealt with it.
There will be a few questions for Simeone. There's no word of any injury to Guilherme Sequeira, but Gomez is out there, and they are going at him. The former Malaga man seeing more of Messi than he would like. That deflection out. 7.5 left to go. If there's a manager who has halftime speeches for situations like this, probably none better than Simeone.
Second one's a punisher though, Phil, and it's a real spirit sapper for Simeone's men. When they see the handball from Messi, they'll feel a lot worse. It could be corrected again with another replay, but I'll be surprised.
First goal appeared to be offside. Second goal appeared to benefit from a handball.
Yeah.
But the scoreboard still shows 2, no matter what Atletico wants. Here's Juan Fran. And there's still plenty of time. Well, again, it's been nearly 10 years since they've last won here.
Neymar and Suarez, but this man has been the man of the match, no question.
Comes in trying to go around Gomez, but his elbow caught the defender. As you said, he is not just possessed, but inspired today. Something to prove, it appears, if only to himself. Went around Godin in a similar fashion to set up that first goal.
Absorbs the defenders into him every time he gets possession with the efficiency of a baby's diaper. Draws them in, and then all the other doors open. But to keep the control that he does and to still be able to pick out the telling ball is one of the wonders of Messi. No mistake this time. It's clean. There's Neutrogena from Argentina, and the man from Uruguay celebrates with his fella South American, who will be drawing daggers against each other, along with the Brazilian Neymar in the Copa America this summer here on beIN Sports. Brother against brother, Phil. An uncivil war.
If you haven't seen a Copa America, Ray's not exaggerating. 5 minutes left. This was the difficult match for Barcelona, especially considering the circumstances. Sandwiched in between the cup ties with Elche, Deportivo and Elche as well in league. Don't face another difficult opponent till Villarreal at month's end. And while it looks comfortable, guarantee you there were a few quaking knees among the culés.
This is far from over. But the way Barcelona have been playing, this was the statement game, and how they have absolutely roared that statement here today.
Suarez out wide, elects to play it back to Alba. Griezmann forced to play some defense. Good ball for Busquets. Here's Alves.
Sharp.
Messi. Just poked. Gomez might have gotten a touch. And then right back to Barca.
The roar of disbelief around the stadium, and Messi hits a poor ball.
Neymar bandaged, bleeding, but on the score sheet. After this, closing out the cup draw, or the cup tie against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. They have a 2-0 lead in that one, does Atletico. Here's Alba. Neymar turns the other way. Alba brings it back. After that, a bit of a breather against Granado and Rayo before they travel to Eibar. Ball in, headed wide, and not by much.
What a ball from Dani Alves. Cynics will say he was shooting. I don't know what you're talking about. Take a look at this. He's picking Messi out. That's absolutely superlative as we look at the most convincing angle yet. And I was right. It's a handball. Argentina, man. Diego approves.
Messi again, this time off the chest. Into the center, trailing run Neymar. Gavi tries to get it out of danger. Jimenez does. Both teams level on points to start the day, but the weights tilting in favor of the home side now. Turan.
How hard he's got to work to get away from Dani Alves. Look at this.
Gomez back for the Turk. Busquets over, back to Gomez in the box, tries to split two.
Who gets it?
Dani Alves. And he's a bad defender, you know. I read that in the paper once.
So a lot of people say.
Strong run for Alba, but deflected away. By the way, that is the epitome of Alves as a defender. You can maybe pick a flaw here or there, but he's just a pest that won't go away.
Wonderful tracking back again, personifying that 100% commitment here today displayed by Barcelona against the team, say one more time, that beat the world champions pretty impressively just a few days ago.
Still with Griezmann and Mandzukic. They have weapons at their disposal, although to this point they have not had much to shoot out. It's been a rather boring match for Bravo. Right. Is this something that Luis Enrique might have said or done leading up to this match, or is this a team that's coming together?
I think it is. I think there's a great response to the Barcelona players saying, this is our club, this is our shirt, our team, and let's go out there and show what we can do and let the rest of the cards fall where they may. Unquestionably, the singular best performance I can remember from FC Barcelona in a long time, everywhere, right, left, centre, up front, deep.
Thiago Mendes back to Godin. Gift wraps it for Iniesta.
The creators are battling away. The battlers are creating. Look at this.
Lifts it in, off the chest Suarez, but it just runs away.
Well, when his confidence does start bubbling up, he'll strike this first time. Genius pass again. Lynx eye vision from Iniesta. And it drops steeply towards Suarez. He goes for the control with his chest and it just runs away.
Mandzukic talking to the ref, Godin talking to the assistant. It will not change the call, though, although maybe, if the officials see it, maybe a make-good call might go Atletico's way in the second half. They'll need whatever breaks they can get the way Messi's playing today.
Part of the difficulty about making a decision like that was when the players jumping up into the ball and they're both on the move. And the ball's traveling at pace, of course, and the player jumps up and tries to get his chest to it, but he obviously seen he wasn't going to be able to time it to perfection and gambled, and he won. Cheated and he won. Just have it right. The referee wasn't able to spot it quickly enough. Barcelona benefited.
First half in the books, and it's good reading for Barcelona. Looking ahead to the second chapter, fans of Atleti. Goals from Neymar and Suarez in the first half, and Atletico left mumbling to themselves.
Well, Jim Dandy performance in the first half, and plenty more in the second. Wonderful game.
A good player in his own right. On a napkin, Charlie Reixach, the former Johan Cruyff mate, and a good player in his own right, but no one compares for Barcelona. No one really compares to Fernando Torres, at least back in his youth, and he is available on the bench when Simeone is ready. 7 goals against Barcelona. No active player in La Liga has scored more. Second half underway. Barcelona in front by 2. Phil Shane, Ray Hudson, and Ray talking during the halftime break. Is this Luis Enrique getting this team on his side, or this team basically saying we're going to win regardless of who's the coach?
I think that's as much as anything, and who knows, it may be half of one, half of the other, but certainly Bartomeu, whatever he said to his players and his key players, he's got the response out of them here today. This situation could have been completely diametrically opposite if that scoreline was a 1-0 game towards Atletico Madrid, but Blaugrana have risen above that turmoil. That's as much as being kind of as you can say, and they have responded emphatically with a performance that has been the best everywhere in what they produce as a footballing team. Even Suarez is scoring, so it's a good day. He's been marvellous, and he set the tone with that gladiator spirit when he was bleeding.
Notice, looks like Barcelona's changed socks. Maybe to avoid contrast with Atletico, or maybe just to show they don't bleed. 82,000 nearly in attendance at the Camp Nou. Barcelona winning 34 of their last 38 at home. And again, Atletico has not won here since 2006.
This Atletico Madrid team have got a propensity to come out of the locker room after facing Diego Simeone with their own daggers in between their teeth. It's been a hallmark of theirs throughout this wonderful resurgent rebuilding under Simeone. Coming out, no matter what the scoreline, they really move it up a gear, and early indications are that there will be changes. A great position. These are the ones that practice till the moon turns to cheese on the practice field under Simeone.
Atletico has scored more goals than anyone in La Liga via the head. Barcelona has allowed the fewest.
Well, they've defended the earlier ones nicely, but
ball bounces through. Griezmann one-on-one with Suarez. He'll settle for the corner kick. Barcelona just one headed goal allowed. Atletico has scored 19 that way, 4 through that man, which is a league high. Rakitic trying to mark Mandzukic, seems a mismatch. Sent out to the top of the box. Godin with a header just on the wrong side of the crossbar.
Good challenge by Busquets here, just into Godin right here, just doing enough, Sergi, to put the ever dangerous Godin off, and he still doesn't miss by much.
This Atletico side has been hot, winning 5 of their last 6 in league and scoring 2 goals or more in 5 of those 6, but right now shut out. Little back heel from Koke, sprints away from Mendes though. Threaded through for Neymar, cut out at the pass
what a
by
tackle.
Juan Fran.
Fabulous from the ex-Real Madrid man. Juan Fran, he's got to get that one right, man.
Griezmann, does he have the angle? Alba showing his jets with a bump from behind. Appeared to be a foul, but the flag stays down. That one from Juan Fran into the back of Neymar.
Be a card here.
And it will be the 3rd card of the match. A bit reminiscent of his collision with Cuadrado this summer. And that knee staying a bit lower, regardless, message sent.
Still think that one is the one that should have been called against Alba. Comes into the back of Antoine Griezmann.
Not been a good day by Roberto
Especially
Diaz
when
on
the
the near
ball is
side.
in front of him in playing conditions, in playing circle. It was within his possession.
Iniesta has been razor sharp. Then again, everyone in Blaugrana seems to be. Messi with a look away. Alves inside off the backside of Gomez. Flying in Rakitic, and a foul against Atletico, who are starting to feel this is rather one-sided. It was 8-8 in fouls at the half. Hard to argue with that one, but the frustration building. Messi setting up 2. Still waiting to get on the score sheet. He has not scored against Atletico in 3 straight. Juan Carlos Unzué, the assistant, talking to Alba. Some reports that Unzué, the only member of the coaching staff that Messi will speak to. Messi from about 30. He'll get another chance. Arda Turan over to defend, and he leaves him in his wake. Trying to dance along the chalk, and finally stopped by the whistle. there is a coach,
this crowd isn't covering their mouths, I'll tell you that.
I was going to say,
they're letting him know what they think of all this controversy. Special.
Diego Simeone is the type to hire someone who might be a lip reader up top. You never know. And the fans have made no secret which side of the argument that they fall on. On front again.
Stepping back into Busquets, intentionally getting away with that one.
Turan double team, tries to turn down the line but can't. Got one right, ref, says Turan. Mentioned the 4 straight draws in league play, 6 straight without defeat, but it's somewhat of a disguise because over the last 8 in La Liga, Atletico has yet to beat Barcelona. That ties the longest drought in league history. So going to need to come from behind to avoid setting the record.
And from Messi, find Dani Alves just a little hesitant, but wins it back yet again.
Messi with Rakitic wide. Dances around one side. Near side Iniesta, who has had many doubters of his own, but not today.
Imperious performance by Messi yet today. Vintage.
Mascherano to Alba. A giant message being sent, but there's still time for Atletico to change the way the story ends.
Certainly. Yeah.
Turan
getting absolutely read like a nursery rhyme book there by Arda Turan.
Griezmann against
wonderful
Piqué.
Cover from Piqué coming across from his wider position to cover around Mascherano. So many things going right for Barcelona here today, and you know what? It's been an alley fight. This has not been a game where they've been up against the likes of Elche or Huesca. This is a team that's battle-hardened, and they have had to earn every passing lane. Every touch of the ball has been met with a statement of itself by Atletico Madrid. Barcelona playing through the tackles, playing through the pressure, and then it comes to this man, so all bets are off.
The maestro off to Iniesta. Alba on his left, Neymar inside, tries to take it himself, deflects off Thiago. Gavi.
Messi couldn't believe he didn't get that square ball back from Iniesta. Wonderful tackle this from Rakitic. When we see it in replay, which I'm sure we will, he comes across and slides down beautifully and scoops it away.
Gomez still trying to figure out where he came from.
Yep, just got pickpocketed.
.55 minutes, 10 minutes into the second half. Still no sign of a substitution from Simeone. Now looking down the line. Looks like he's saying hold off just for a bit. Gavi sneaks it through. Strong run Juan Fran against Alba, but he cannot get it through.
Good spacing, but look at the Blaugrana shirts behind there. You got Mascherano, Piqué, and Dani Alves all lined up like a row of fence posts to defend.
Nice from Griezmann. Here's Gomez, but trying to bring it back to his right. He's tripped and it's in the box, says Undiano Mayenko, pointing to the spot, and Atletico with a chance to get back in this one.
Well, Messi it is that reaches in, I believe. Astonishing. It looked like a clean tackle on James originally. Wow, he doesn't get the ball. It comes back off James, but he barely touches him, and he goes down. Take a look. He's inside the box. There's contact made. Barely brushes it with his toe, but the referee says that he's contact made and clipping the standing foot. James goes down on his other foot and goes down.
Jesus
but a penalty's
Gomez,
been given. Very harsh, in my opinion.
victimized by Messi and Barcelona in the first half, but
if this game didn't have everything, it just took another lovely turn into the House of Mirrors. And Messi speaking to the referee, but he might as well be speaking like Charlie Brown's teacher. He ain't gonna understand him. And now Croatia stands up. A wonderful Mandzukic is cool like a killer usually in these situations. What answer, bravo!
12 paces. Mandzukic strikes it high into the net, and Barcelona's lead trimmed to 1. Second scorer on this Atletico side behind Griezmann.
Great penalty either way, right down the middle, high. Bravo decides to gamble one way, loses out to Mandzukic's penalty box predator skills, and cool as a bomb disposal expert, Mandzukic.
Well, the artful dodger gets caught with his hand in the pocket. Messi whistled for the penalty. Third called by Undiano this year. And now it's a 2-1 game, and all of a sudden Barcelona has a game on their hand. Iniesta has Enrique willing his side forward. Here's Neymar. Second effort.
Well,
into Turan, play
ball.
on.
Nicely.
Suarez, Rakitic bypasses the shot instead for Messi. Jimenez lifted over Rakitic to clear, and Barcelona fans wanted to call the other way. And now a yellow against Suarez for protesting.
Game's got more twists and turns in an alligator with an itch. We've seen everything. The handball against Messi was responded with a penalty kick in the second half. How much of that is a make-up call? He'd have been watching it in his referee's room and thinking he might have got that one wrong. Either way, in the full scheme of things, it's probably a fair scoreline. Let's just say that, because Barcelona imperious in the first half, but 2 goals that were highly questionable, and they were credited a penalty kick, and Atletico Madrid bounced back. And as you say, Phil, 30 minutes of helter-skelter football ahead of us.
Tried the elastico into Turan and Juanfran. Now there is collision. Rakitic was in position, and Jimenez clatters through. If that's at midfield, I think the whistle blows. It should also in the box. 2 offside calls that were not called in the first half. Mistakenly said one led to the first goal, but there was the handball apparent against Messi that did lead to the second, and that's the difference in this one, and we still have a half hour to go. Juanfran in. Turan can't clear. Mascherano tripped up by Mandzukic.
It's a football exercise for Barcelona on how would they bounce back, and with the mentality. And that first half showed the answer in 5-star terms. Now they're going to be further tested. The nerves have been jangled, the nose has been bloodied in more ways than one, figuratively speaking and factually speaking. But what answer now? Barcelona, another statement to see out this game and fend off Mandzukic, who is battling away like a absolute titan.
Atletico arguably getting a couple of breaks here in the second half they did not get in the first. And Mandzukic better be careful. Talked about Torres maybe getting a chance to be the hero, but Mandzukic might be closer to getting a second yellow.
Oh, what a touch.
Iniesta for Neymar. Beautiful. Sneaks it in.
Switches on.
Busquets does. And here's Alves. Messi on his flank. In for Busquets. As the fans starting a chant. Some have their yellow hankies out after the penalty, or their white hankies out. Luis Enrique knows, regardless of how well Barcelona played, a defeat here and his time might be done. Be in sports.tv for more. Don't forget Juventus Napoli on beIN Sports HD following the Rome derby. What a goal from Totti. If you missed it, don't forget Express Extra tonight to wrap everything up.
Tis not dancing school, senor.
Jimenez maybe getting away with one. Just moments after Messi was whistled for the first penalty he has conceded in his Barcelona career. Can Atletico use that as a stepstone? Near side, Juanfran fakes and freezes Alba. Wants it back, gets it back. Piqué. Flying in Neymar defensively against Gabi, who gets whistled for the foul. "12 shots for Barca, 2 goals to show for it. 1 goal on 3 attempts for Atletico, the one that went in from the spot. Mentioned Barcelona's upcoming matches against Elche, Deportivo, and eventually Villarreal. Atletico has to get ready for Real Madrid. And a stumble here just might make them look more vulnerable. Rakitic with the fortunate bounce, starting quickly. Messi. Suarez keeps it alive.
Brilliant.
In for Iniesta. Now Neymar. Neymar deflects, still for Messi, and blocked again by Godin.
Lovely intricacy from Barcelona to find their way through, but with Godin in one place and Jimenez on the other, the Argentina man Mascherano knows that looking down that field, and it takes something special to open them up. Close there though. Far better performance in this second half since Simeone has had them round the table.
Mandzukic dispossessed, strong from Piqué.
Stretched here.
Neymar
got a lot to do.
Weaving back to the inside against Gabi. Dances through 3 challenges, finally held by Thiago, who will go in the book. 4th yellow against the champs.
No complaints, knows exactly, said he had a lot to do. He did it. Hopping on one leg, brilliant from Neymar, but just yanked back. Just about to pick his pass. He stretched them out. He has that wonderful effort, and it's the immaculate Godin comes to the rescue again. The telescopic right leg of his, marvellous defending.
Gomez and Busquets debating the finer points.
That penalty kick.
Mono Burgos knows what these matches are like. He was in goal for several of them back in the last decade. Nearing the midway point of the second half, and still all to fight for, although Barca with the edge. Messi from about 30 deflects off Juanfran. Alves back in for Suarez, and a battle of Uruguayans falls for Godin. Mentioned that this match was still available for Atletico. Barca, remember, famously starting the season with 8 straight shutouts. They have now just had 3 in their last 10. So the defense a bit vulnerable. even if Atletico maybe needed a bit of fortune. Torres getting set. Will it be for Mandzukic?
He has a fine record against Barcelona. One of those teams he enjoys playing against and hitting the back of the net. Wow.
Gifted.
No, it's beautiful.
Griezmann trying to give chase.
Magic.
Iniesta under pressure. And they make it look easy.
Sublime football from Barcelona, from Bravo, truly.
Now Messi. A look away for Alves. Feeds it back, but a deflection by Thiago. We were talking about this during the break, but you were saying you haven't seen Barca, you haven't seen Messi play this way since at least the Manchester City match, maybe even longer.
Yep, combined forces all come together, and they've done it in a battle-hardened situation on a real battlefield. This hasn't been a game against posers, it's been against men with knuckle dusters on and with really good, vibrant ability. So 2-1, but this game is not exactly put away with the 2 hot water bottles. They've got a long way to go.
He's got a gamble on the table right now, and he's putting more stakes in. Diego Simeone pulling Gabi, leaving Mandzukic on, who has a yellow, and if he's going to pull a midfielder, Thiago also has a yellow. Will this come back to bite Simeone?
It's got to be played, Phil. Mandzukic is his man up top. He's not pulling him out in a game of this magnitude with their crown on the line. This is a game, if Simeone gets a point out of this, he'll be absolutely elated, and they've certainly got the wherewithal to grab all 3 from behind. You're going to have to work super hard and produce a little bit more dynamic flair at the other end, because Griezmann's been pretty subdued and kept in the margins by a Barcelona team that's just been defending in their own way and doing it as well as Griezmann's old team did last year in a combined manner. A penalty kick aside, his team have been wonderfully industrious, one against another, all over the park, and good insurance policies built in. They're covering from each other, no more than that man, especially in the first half. And Busquets is another one unheralded. Rakitic, of course.
Suarez, by the way, the only Barca player with a yellow. Busquets drawing a couple against Atletico. Here's Mascherano. Outside of the boot, but he didn't hit it well. "20 minutes remain. Turan trying to roll it across the feet. Got too much on it.
There's that insurance policy I was talking about. 2 players right in front of Turan. He's been leaving nothing exposed one-on-one all game long. Barcelona, the mesh moving defensively.
Neymar. Bounces back away from Alba. Juan Fran. Thiago. Good touch. Mandzukic trying to get there. Mascherano had the angle. Atletico hasn't even beaten Barcelona at home since 2010. That was back when Diego Forlan was still putting on the red and white stripes. Barca still proving difficult, even when it was supposed to be a disaster. Does this right the ship and get them back on track?
Long time to go, Phil. Don't like it. Game's already done and dusted. It's far from that. This is a game on the edge now.
Arda Turan chasing Iniesta. The ball runs faster though, and back to Bravo. Neymar trying to win it. Deflection goes Alba's way with a little flair to Iniesta. And back. Suarez in the middle. Headed back, Iniesta.
Great challenge by Griezmann, wins it.
And again for the young Frenchman.
It's easy to play combative when you've been suffering the way this mini crisis as Barcelona have been having to deal with this week, but it's the way they've played with confidence amongst each other, individually and collectively. That for me has been the most impressive part of it. It hasn't been just a workman-like all hands to the pumps performances. It's been stardust football, and having that under that sort of confidence is just very, very special.
Messi almost, and then like a salmon out of the stream heads the deflection to Alves. Suarez far side. Clash of forwards as Mandzukic puts him in reverse. Fernando Torres wins it, and Mandzukic fouled. Fernando Torres made his debut for Atletico back here in 2002.
They're really spitting the verbals at each other because of this. Mandzukic saying, you got to come better, you got to come with more than this. This is the earlier one on Busquets, but then the one with Suarez was equally as nasty right here. And big Mandzukic, he likes a good fight.
Deflected wide. Turan, edge of the 18, but forced in reverse. Mascherano continuing to nip at his heels until the whistle blows. And now he barks at the ref.
He'll probably be booked for the protestations as well. For me, it's a fair call. Ara Turan doing a wonderful job of shielding the ball, and he was going nowhere. Actually, just a little bit too eager to step in, and goes into the book.
Griezmann looks like he's going to exit. Raul Garcia coming in, going with the big bodies up front. Torres, Mandzukic, and now Garcia. Griezmann will have to wait to meet his old teammate Bravo for another day.
This is where they live, this team. This is where they have made a big part of their name. Best in the world at set pieces.
The line outside the 18. Now a scramble lifted by Koke. Piqué got ahead to it, and it starts a break.
They're stretched here now.
Iniesta to Suarez, blasting it into the path of Neymar, and what a stop by Koke.
Got to read that one absolutely perfectly, over the top of his head, dropping in over his shoulder. Koke, absolutely wonderful in snuffing that chance out.
Couple of back heels set up Thiago nicely. Torres peeling down the line. Juanfran with it. Alba will clear. Mentioned that game where he scored a couple, the last victory at the Camp Nou, part of a stretch between 04 and 06 where they actually went 5 straight without defeat, and Torres scored 6 of the 9 goals in that stretch. Ancient history that's trying to be relived. Juanfran about box high. 15 minutes left.
Good ball.
Turan. Torres tried, but offside the call.
Well loved amongst a lot of these Barcelona players, of course, Fernando Torres. Spanish international, of course. Atletico coming back in, though.
Definitely more of an Atletico style over the last few moments to this game.
Well, they are stretching themselves out just a little bit more, though, than they did in the early going, and that's understandable. A goal down, Simeone is super brave in sending his players forward, but they'll have to be careful.
Messi harassed, play on, says the ref. Lifts it over to Alba. Back heel Neymar at speed. Alba again. Alive for Iniesta. Rakitic the missed touch. Now Barcelona back at the wheel. Raul Garcia being held off. Neymar off the chest of Alba.
Brilliant.
Messi denied. Jimenez got a touch.
One player too many there, even for Messi. Wonderful play by Neymar to set him up.
Mascherano slips a chance in the middle. Bravo to try and cut it, and does at the last moment.
Beautifully read by the goalkeeper. Sees his defence having to vacate the centre area of it, and comes off his lane, times his run to Nasser moonshot perfection, to intervene right at the last baby's breath for Torres' equaliser. Wonderful. This goalkeeper has had a tremendous game with his feet and with his hands. His distribution has been marvellous. It's been finer than a frog's hair sometimes, but he's got the job done. Talking of fine.
Iniesta.
Good ball.
Busquets to Messi. Now wide for Alves. Freezes Gomez.
Slip.
Second effort in, cleared by Godin. Iniesta over his head for Neymar, but that one will be called. Suarez again.
Very close to getting a third goal. It started with this beautiful little touch pass from Busquets earlier on. It started all the Blaugrana dominoes falling in unison. Wonderful approach play there.
Ray, if you're Real Madrid, if you're Carlo Ancelotti, what's the result you want from this match? Easy to say a draw where they both lose points, but do they view both of these challengers equally? Mandzukic tracks it down. Torres in the middle if he can find him. On the turn. Goes through the legs of Piqué with a slight touch. And as he celebrates the corner, he pops the defender in the face.
Touches him accidentally. Yep, his swords have been well sharpened, and that's just the way this both coaches want it. That's a beautiful identifying from Bravo of a dangerous ball that he snuffs out beautifully.
Koke from the corner. 80th minute approaches. Headed away.
Again, Piqué, magic.
Nice tackle, Turan to win it back. Torres wide. Into the middle for Mandzukic and Godin. Up steps Thiago.
Piqué again, here, there, and everywhere.
Turan through the legs of Piqué. Back into the middle. Torres cleared by Alba. Top of the box, chipped in Garcia, and an easy grab by Bravo. But that was
taking
close.
the laurels here for his defensive duties right and left, but he gets nutmegged here. And that wonderful opportunity, look out.
Messi tries to cut back, double teamed, and eventually holds on.
Not just teasing the defenders, he's taunting them with his control.
Gets it back from Alves, pleats out, and I think he caught Moya. Jimenez in his face.
Well, the real players, no protestations about it, because he knows, the players know, that he's always going to reach out. Too often, goalkeepers get a little bit too much protection. It's not within the goalkeeper's reach originally. So Messi, there's a wonderful nutmeg there by Turan on Piqué. He's got a right to try to bring it under control. Right here, tries to get it past, and then the follow through.
Beautiful effort on one end. Hard effort on the other.
Yeah, there was a sequence there that Piqué made 3 absolute match-saving tackles.
And eventually back to Moya. Dangerous play leading to the yellow for Messi.
Piqué's aerial defense as well has been really wonderful, competing against these two real colossus up front in Mandzukic and now Torres. Credit the Barcelona men in the centre of defence as well. Mascherano doing wonderful in support of Piqué. And Godin at the other end, just mirror opposites, and wonderful midfields being strewn with diamonds. Or a Turan as well.
One
magnificent.
Left for Simeone, and it looks like it's Siqueira. Gomez is playing with a yellow, but they also have Saul, the young midfielder. Looks like they're going to go to the veteran left back. Final 8 minutes. Leading with his elbow, Godin. And I think the linesman pointing this out, his compatriot Suarez down. And it's going to be a red, it looks like. Not just a yellow. That's his first. The reaction from the fans. And Suarez maybe making it look a bit worse than it first appeared.
See if he gets the ball here. Godin gets nothing, comes right through the player in the back in a certain foul, and then he goes absolutely ballistic with the referee and his linesman for really no reason. It's a blatant foul into Suarez. Wouldn't believe their teammates.
Saw Suarez going at his younger teammate Jimenez earlier too. All's fair in love and war, but not in La Liga. 7 minutes remain in regulation. Mundiano averages only about 4 yellows a match. This has already seen 9, and we still have 7 minutes to play. Neymar on the score sheet and looking for more. Spin to keep it in. Skips under Suarez. It's Messi denied by Moya.
House. Neymar keeps this in is amazing in itself, but then to get the acceleration going in and to pick out Suarez, who dummies over the top for Leo, to come in with his usual slingshot left foot. Again, rapier football from Barca.
Mandzukic smartly.
And this groan goes around this stadium every time there's a set play. Barcelona have dealt with them wonderfully because of Piqué primarily. But again, Atletico Madrid get to roll their favourite dice, the set play.
And some towers out there now for Atletico with the substitutions. Driven across towards the back, but it's Piqué left standing. Blasted by Thiago, gratefully gathered in by Bravo.
Piqué again.
First half we talked about Messi, we talked about Iniesta. Second half it's Piqué who has been drawing the spotlight.
Good ball.
Iniesta, arguably his best game of the season. And still Barca only leads by 1. Neymar.
Wonderful.
Highlight film.
Ever the entertainer embellishes it a little bit too much sometimes. He had got himself out of an impossible situation with this skill right here. And then he has Sergio Busquets square to him, but he doesn't decide to get it off his feet. He decides to come in with his red flag to the Mad Bull.
And Raul Garcia busting through the China shop. More action as Neymar brought down again, this time by Juan Fran. Trying to keep things calm. Mundiano mentioned 9 yellows. He's only shown red once this year. That finger's strong by Garcia.
Looked like a hand into his chest to me, Phil. But if you want to say it's a finger, the finger. Take a look.
There we go. Nice from Koke, but Torres had been taken down.
Hey, good ball.
Torres.
Great cover from Iniesta.
And Nino maybe hesitating too much. Iniesta now leading the charge. Here's Suarez. Messi's lurking on the other side.
Good ball by Rakitic. It's a great ball by Luis Suarez.
And he finds Messi. Sneaks it forward. Flag down. Rakitic. Messi slides. It falls back to the magic man who makes Barca's third.
Started with Luis Suarez and finishes at the feet of Messi. And farm attack. So many avenues built by these shirts on the move. They remember when they used to see this week in, week out. Well, it's been a little bit absent of late, but not in this goal. Wonderfully embroidered. Suarez finds Messi at the back. Beautiful ball to Rakitic. He feeds it back. Messi cannot beat the first train at the station, so he waits for the next one. Here's Barcelona has a tendency where there's one good pass, there's another. But again, Lady Luck a little bit involved here as Garcia puts it on the welcome mat for Messi, and Messi capitalizes in what is turning out to be a perfect night for Barcelona in so many ways. The mentality, the toughness has been challenged by this brave, solid, fighting Atletico Madrid team. They're arguably the toughest football team in that department in the world. And Barcelona haven't backed down. No butterfly this.
So on a day that started with Lionel Messi receiving the award for La Liga's all-time leading scorer, he adds another 257. And Barcelona with some breathing room. Rafinha in for Rakitic.
Ball.
Busquets. Well, Atletico.
The ball to find Luis Suarez in itself was a tremendous ball. The attack leading up to the possession from to Suarez was so impressive. We'll probably not be able to get a look at it in its genesis, but you people with your fancy schmancy machines, go back and take a look at that, because this vaunted Atletico Madrid team, the defensive prowess was made to look like a house of balsa and tissue paper, and Messi was the box of matches.
Neymar with Alba if he wishes. Remember, at the start of the day, goal differential, the tie-break. Head-to-head is now, and that third goal could prove huge. They meet again in the penultimate match at the Vicente Calderon, as Piqué showing off some skills. Happy times are here again. But is this just a band-aid in the big picture? Neymar. Back towards Neymar, taken down in a collision with Godin as Suarez tumbled outside the box.
There's a couple of challenges questionable here. This is magic from Neymar as he drives on, pure entertainer, gets the ball played back, he gets pushed in and then gets stepped on, kicked, clipped, and they're still kicking him. Juan Fran there, and Messi comes in to protect his teammate. There's a challenge also by Thiago that I was questioning in live time. They really are. This is a wonderful goal again. Rakitic, wonderful in his supply. Messi, the first time it misses its target. The second one, here by sheer willpower, Messi brings the ball back to him.
The big win midweek against Elche, maybe starting something, and the momentum building against the defending champions. And now a chance to build against Elche Deportivo, and Elche again. Suarez comes out, his second league goal in pocket. Pedro for the final few moments.
Well, that really puts a big blaugrana cherry on this cake as the game reaches its dying breaths. Only against Sevilla has Lionel Messi scored more goals than he has against Atletico Madrid.
And now tying that mark at 18.
Crisis, what crisis? But what a response. This didn't come easily. He'll have the bruises and the blood to show for it, and you wonder if it's Real Madrid. It's been another victor here today, because come Thursday, Simeone's men are going to be a little battle weary, facing a radiant Real Madrid that was superb yesterday in the second round of the King's Cup coming up on Thursday. We'll have it here on beIN Sports, and that should be fill in the blank.
Enrique Cerezo, knowing there's still work to do if they're going to defend their crown. Out comes Bravo, and Rafinha will clear.
First blot of his copybook. Decides to come. Not so sure if this is the smartest decision. If he stays on his lane, he's got to be able to read the header. But he comes and he is fully committed, and he is flapping like an albatross at this one. Nowhere close. First mistake.
Guilherme in. Flag late to arrive. The ball goes wide anyway, as Godin making sure the jaw is still in place.
It wouldn't matter if it wasn't with Godin. Leader by example, all right. Offsides. Wonderful performances everywhere here today, Phil. So many, truly, but particularly for Barcelona's men.
The final whistle blows. Is it enough to stop the geyser from blowing? At the moment, it lifts Barcelona back a point behind the leaders. Well, for Atletico Madrid, they'll have the cup to console themselves with. 3-1 the final.
Out of 42 vehicles,